Hey guys, Keeps here and welcome back to another episode on the channel. This is the Blackburn Rovers series, episode 6 I believe, and we are back with season 2 of The Save, and I'm really excited to bring it to you. So if you weren't here for the first season, that's fine. I'll give you a quick breakdown and we'll have a quick look over last season. So as you can see, it was a decent season here in the Championship with some rough spots around Christmas, to be expected with the amount of games I have to play. However, we did get through to the playoff final and won after penalties in a 3-3 draw with Middlesbrough. We played that game in the last episode. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you go and watch. It was certainly an interesting game to watch, and it was exciting to watch alongside. Now, going into season 2 of The Save, we knew that we had to build a team that would be capable of not only, going and winning games, obviously, but one that can stay in games. There was a lot of times last season where we lost goals late, or we weren't always at it. So we wanted to bring in players that are consistent, we wanted to bring in players that have got experience, as well as a couple of players that could grow alongside the team. So that's kind of what we've went for. We are just about to play the first game of the season, and I will play it in this video so that you can see how the formation goes, how the tactic goes, and we'll go and look at that right now. So this is the tactic, guys. It's the Leipzig tactic that I made, and I think I released it last week, and it's a very good tactic, one of the most enjoyable I've made in FM20, and one that I wanted to use with this one because of the two strikers that I've got. Armstrong and Brereton, two very quick, two clinical strikers that have both got room to grow as well. Bradley Dakin behind them, again, another player that's very creative and knows exactly, how to get the best out of a creative role. Holtby behind them, the exact same, and it should be Lewis Travis in this slot to, be that ball-winning midfielder but also support counter-attacks. The main changes, if you were here last season, you will notice it is the back and the goalkeeper. That is the three players that we have brought in the starting 11. So starting in goals, we brought in Aaron Ramsdale from Bournemouth. Now, if you've played a Premier League save, you will know that this guy is solid. You can break down Bournemouth all you want. You will not score lots into Bournemouth typically with, mid to top teams, unless you've got like Aguero, things like that. He's a very good goalkeeper. He can be very good in certain instances, and then he can be poor, but that's because he's a young keeper. As he grows with the team, I imagine he's going to get very good and even better than he already is. I mean, look at those stats for a 22-year-old goalkeeper, are outstanding, and I can't wait to see how we can get him to grow. The middle of defence is going to be John Souttar, Scottish 23-year-old from Hearts. Signed him for just under 8 million. And again, another player that's got bags of potential and will really grow alongside the team. We wanted to bring him in just to give us that, ball playing side of things that we were sort of missing last season. We had Adebayo from Manchester City, but he was only on loan. We didn't feel we wanted to bring him back, so we wanted a permanent fixture, and John Souttar was my option for that. So I'm very delighted I was able to bring him in. To his right is the record signing for Blackburn, and it is Fabian Schär. He is ex-Newcastle, as you know, Swiss 28-year-old defender. He's very experienced internationally and in the Premier League, which is key. So hopefully he can really provide that extra touch in defence that we need to take this team forward and survive in the Premier League this season. As the rest of the team, if you've watched the Leipzig one, I've not really got anything to say here, other than Schär has got a really important role in this team. He will be the one that's bringing the ball out from the back, probably Souttar laying it off to him and bring it forward. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops and if we need to change anything, which I imagine I will from the Leipzig tactic, because as I've said, there's no plug and play tactics this year between different teams. This tactic was built for Leipzig, and I'm just going to test it out to see how we got on with the Blackburn one, but I will need to make tweaks. But this is the formation that I want to go with and the style, so we'll see how we got on with this. Looking at the competitions and the expectations, the English FA Cup reached 4th round and Carabao Cup reached 3rd, exact same as last season, so we will be looking to get into that pretty good. Looking at where we enter, I think it's the same rounds as last year, maybe one ahead in the FA Cup this year, but hopefully we can really, get somewhere in the cups this year. Last year we went out at the 4th round in the Carabao and the 3rd in the English FA Cup. So hopefully this season we can maybe go a little bit further in the cup, see how we go on. In the league, we have to fight bravely for relegation, and I'm expecting to do so. I'm not going into this season with the expectations that we're going to overperform and finish 7th. I'm very much expecting that we're going to have to battle relegation and hopefully bring in a couple of players in January to try and solidify our place in the league and hopefully not drop back down. As you can see, the finances are not great, and we haven't spent an awful lot of money, to be honest. When we look at the transfer history, we've only spent 32.5 million, but we did only get out 8.5. The only noticeable outgoing was Joe Rothwell. He's away to Young Boys. He was a player that we'd looked at, maybe getting rid of because he only had the potential to be a good championship talent. So we looked at, and Young Boys came in fairly early on in the window with a 6 million rising to 8 offer. So it was a really hard one to turn down. But that's really it for what's changed the squad. So we'll just get into it. Our first game of the season is away to Wolves. Just looking at the table from last season, Wolves did do pretty well, finishing in 8th. Very little off of the European spots. So when you look at that table, the teams that are still in it, the ones that went down are not bad teams. So probably better the level than we had. So we're really going to have to push for this place in the league next season. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So, as you can see, they line up in a 4-2-3-1, which is different from Wolves would normally line up in. I do believe that they do have a different manager now, though. I may be wrong in saying that, but noticeable, they've got Harvey Barnes having his debut. Can't really see anything else. D'Ambrosio maybe, but everything else is still the same. As you can see with us, we've just went through the tactic. 3 new debuts, all new players, and let's see how we get on. I'll send my assistant to that. So, starting off, we've got the kickoff, first shot of the season for us, and we will get on. Seem to have started pretty well in the opening 15 here. Obviously, we do know the dangers of Wolves in attack. They are a very good attacking side, and they do take the lead through Raul Jimenez, him being left off the shoulder of a defender, and there was not much doubt that was going to be going into the back of the net after that. We'll demand more from the boys, see what we can do here. Down 2-0 in 20 minutes to Wolves. Not a good start at all here for Blackburn. And we're really wanting to improve quickly, or this game will be going away from us. We didn't even start too bad as well. It's one of those that this is going to be a steep learning curve for the players as well as myself. I can't say that they've been in a position with this weaker side in the Premier League previously. So, and that's not good having Buckley injured. So Downey is going to have to come on, and we're going to move Holtby over to that ball winning and down into that box to box. So at half time, guys, it is 2-0 to Wolves. A fairly even first half, in all honesty. Just Raul Jimenez showing his quality in 2 occasions in the first half. Probably defensive errors to go with those, but not too bad a half in general. Hopefully we can push out here. Good pressure from the team. But Jota has just done Bennett, I believe that was, inside out and put it into the far corner. We're now down 3-0 away to Wolves in the first game of the season. So it doesn't look like it's going to be the good start that we wanted. However, going up against Wolves, they are a top half side. There's no hiding that. And, we're just going to have to take this one on the chin, sadly. And that's a really bad tackle from Lenihan. He didn't need to make it. He just had to show him down the line. And they've got a free kick on the edge of the box now that they have not finished. I really thought that was going to be going to 4-0 there. We aren't going to change tactics this game. We will maybe load up another tactic or potentially make a whole new one for away games after seeing this. Just because we are competing well, we're just not defending or attacking it's a strange one. You when you're competing well in a game, normally you can do okay, but this one's just got away from us. That was a good run from Armstrong there, can't deny that. I think he'll be a good player this season for us on the counter-attack. But this has been a good little spell for us here the last 10 minutes. Hoping we can maybe get the first goal of the season this game. Although if we don't, I won't be too disheartened. So Charlie Mulgrew will come on for Linehan, give him a bit of a break since he is injured. But I think one thing we need to look at is be realistic with our expectations, and I think that's what I have done. Really unlucky not to get the first goal of the season there for Adam Armstrong. He's certainly been lively in this second half. But yeah, realistic expectations I think are going to be important this season. And as I say, we're not going to be looking to finish top and rise above all expectations. We are going to be battling relegation. So a 3-0 loss on the opening day of the season. I think it was a fairly poor performance in the first half. The second half certainly redeemed it. I think the 3-0 was a bit harsh. Maybe 2-1 would be a better scoreline, but 3-0 certainly harsh. And I'm not going to get into the boys as much as they can be switched off. I'm not going to get into them after that game, just because it was a very even game in the grand scheme of things. John Buckley out for 3 to 4 weeks. Sadly, Linehan only out 10 to 12 days. We do, however, have a very difficult matchup coming up next, and that is going to be Manchester City. Looking ahead, after that, we do have some hard games coming up as well. Liverpool and Man United. Tottenham as well. There isn't really a month where we don't have a top 6 side going into, November, but that's because of the international break there. But, looking at Christmas, we've got a very tough Christmas period and January. So we'll leave it there for today, guys. Not the best opening up of the season. However, we've certainly seen some positives. We've seen some negatives too. But certainly a lot to work on before the Manchester City game in a week's time. The next time we come back will probably be around October, November time, just before going into that Christmas time period. Maybe a little bit earlier, given that we don't have as much games this season to play. Anyway, guys, I've been Keebs. It's been great having you. Hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.